Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, what the hell, Bosom of Abraham. And most of this is going to take place in Luke chapter 16. The first reference is out of Luke 16 verse 22. Now the poor man died and was carried away by the angels to Abraham's bosom. And the rich man also died and was buried. So not everyone dies and goes to a place of torment. And also you need to remember the context of these comments are before the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. So up front, this is going to be controversial. Some people are going to disagree with me on this, and that's fine. The issue is those who believe in God's coming promises went to be in a place of comfort. The bosom of Abraham, and this is in Luke 16 verses 19 through 31. Now things change after the good news of Christ, his death, burial, and resurrection. Absent from the body is to be present with the Lord after his death, burial, and resurrection. And what we're talking about is beforehand. Luke 16 verse 23, in Hades he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and saw Abraham far away, and Lazarus in his bosom. So the text is pretty clear. There are two different places in Hades, or Sheol, or the grave. The right side of the chasm, and the wrong side of the chasm. One is a place of comfort, the other is a place of hell. And the distance in the verse is far away, or the Greek phrase, makrathan apo. It means a long way off, a far off, a great distance. Luke 16 verse 26, and besides all this, between us and you there is a great chasm fixed, so that those who wish to come over here to you will not be able, and that none may cross over from there to us. So, the distance is emphasized in the verse a couple of times. Great, or megas in the Greek. And megas means great, external form or sensible appearance of things, in particular of space and dimension. Extent, large and spacious, of measure and height, long. And so that's where we get the word mega in English. Mega structures on TV, so mega this, mega that, mega fries, whatever, it's big. The Greek word for chasm is a transliteration, chasma, and it means a gaping opening, a chasm or a gulf. So, no matter how you define it, there are two or three different words. The gap is monstrous, it's ridiculously huge no matter how you define it, and the destination is fixed. Depending on which side you are, there are no transfers. And the transfer request is one way. Those with Abraham in his bosom are not requesting a transfer, and those on the wrong side of the gap, you may not come over. You're stuck there. Luke 16 verse 25, but Abraham said, "Child, remember that during your life you received your good things, and likewise Lazarus bad things." This is different than the Lazarus that Jesus raised. "But now he is being comforted here, and you are in agony." So in Abraham's space, there's comfort, and parakaleo in the Greek, it means to receive consolation, strengthen, exhorting, comforting, and encouraging, to call to one's side. So he's literally being called to Abraham's side. Call for, summon. So Abraham's bosom was a call to comfort. So how did they get to this place? What difference did it make before Jesus? And the book of Hebrews provides the answer. With God, it's always been about faith in his word. And in the final analysis, it's about, does one believe what God says? And God defines faith in Hebrews 11 verses 1 through 2. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. For by it, faith, the men of old gained approval. And so Hebrews 11 goes on to provide example after example of Old Testament characters who believed of the future things to come. God made promises in the past, and those people believed them. Hebrews 11 verse 13, all these Old Testament saints died in faith without receiving the promises, but having seen them and having welcomed them from a distance, and having confessed that they were strangers and exiles on earth. So you see these people on TV just screaming up and down, I believe, I believe, I believe. Well, in what? What's your object of faith? You can believe, but if it doesn't have an object, it's pointless. And, so what about us in this time, 21st century, early 21st century? We're called to have faith in the gospel of Jesus Christ. The good news that he died for sin, was buried and resurrected. And we also have the belief that there's the rapture. We believe he's coming again. We believe there will be a millennial kingdom. And we believe there will be a future eternity of peace. So there are things that we haven't seen, that we're called to believe. And there are things that he's done that we're called to believe. And in the final analysis, Hebrews 11:6 pretty much sums it up. And without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who seek him. So it's not about anything you do. Do you believe God? If you're interested in these topics, please feel free to check out paulthepope.com, keywords hell, Bosom of Abraham. And there are other topics in the series of hell. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.